In this video, we're going to use Terraform to build secure, audit-ready S3 buckets that automatically meet NIST security controls. Here's the list of controls we'll be using for our S3 buckets, and we're going to see how Terraform creates automatic machine-readable proof that each bucket has these controls in place before they're deployed in the cloud. So we're spinning up two buckets, a primary bucket to hold your main data, and a dedicated log bucket to record exactly who accesses that data. Now let's look at the Terraform code. NIST control SC28 is protection of information at rest. SC28 requires that data sitting in storage is protected, and we satisfy it with encryption. Here we have encryption for the primary bucket and the log bucket. AC3 is access enforcement. This code blocks all public access to both buckets using all four of AWS's separate switches. Think of them as four independent locks on a door, and Terraform locks all four. CM6 configuration settings turns on versioning so file changes are recoverable. CM6 also uses a default tags block to automatically stamp every resource with tracking tags. AU3. This block enables the access logging that satisfies AU3. Once it's on, S3 natively captures the exact timestamps, IPs, and user identities that compliance frameworks require. And by linking the buckets, those logs stream into our log bucket, fulfilling NIST control AU6 for review downstream. The hardest part of this build is getting the logging set up in the right order, and this is where you'd hit an AccessDenied error. In AWS, you can't just point logs at a bucket and call it a day. By default, new buckets use a setting called Bucket Owner Enforced, which turns off the legacy permission system called ACLs that log delivery still needs. And that's why this block of code flips that setting. You'll need to turn permissions back on by setting S3 object ownership to Bucket Owner Preferred. This re-enables ACLs so log delivery is possible. Then, you'll need to give AWS permission to write logs by applying the log delivery write ACL to that bucket. Finally, you'll link your primary bucket to start sending its logs to the log bucket. Now let's create the machine-readable evidence. As you can see, I've already run Terraform init and Terraform validate. Now I'm going to run Terraform plan. This command generates a saved plan of exactly what we built. Now I'm going to run the last command. This saves your setup into a data file called plan.json. This single file gives you machine-readable proof that security controls are in place before your infrastructure even hits the cloud. Instead of an auditor manually looking at screenshots, they can run a security script that scans the JSON file and confirms your compliance in seconds. You can find the full lab guide and code in my GitHub link below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.